happen, and I won't let it slide. It's not the first time Justin will do such cheap tricks with poking eyes like those. His fight against Paddy will be his last. I mean, UFC is only for the real fighters, not the cheater.
Were you surprised by Paddy's game plan?
I didn't understand his game plan even. He wanted to box with Gaethje, but he couldn't wrestle him. He couldn't box him. He just a little bit young and he has a better chin, but he's a trash can.
Just curious, what did you think about Paddy's chin? Because a lot of people say Justin Gaethje is the hardest hitter they've ever faced.
Yeah, but Paddy got knocked out like 15, 20 times. Yeah, Justin was like 3-4 years ago, he was different. Now it's like he's getting old and last a couple of fights he got.
Paddy's heart, the grit of this kid. I don't care that he lost the fight. He comes back and murders like most guys.
Yeah.
Like anyone that doesn't have the grit. Like obviously everyone, like myself and everybody else, is worried about how much a fight like this takes out of you. But he's super young.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? I think he's young enough to bounce back from a fight like this and to turn it into a superpower moving forward. Because not many people survive Gaethje the way he does, the way he did, or like have moments of greatness late in the fight after taking the hits that he took.
I just felt like I did enough. I just felt like I did enough to get the job done. Paddy is getting the beat out of him right now. It looks like, Jesus, this might not end well.
It was almost like he understood the assignment. We're on Paramount. There's a new network. There are going to be new fans. We need to introduce them to what the UFC is. I think after watching that, everybody that was tuned in are going to be lifelong fans of the UFC. Because on this special night, there is not a sport in the world that can compare to the UFC, and tonight we have one of those special nights.
Now, after what was absolutely and unquestionably a spectacular spectacle, and once the tremendous and overwhelming the chaos settled down and the conversation subjects have entirely and completely shifted, nobody's currently debating or discussing who could become triumphant or what might transpire. Now everyone's examining thoroughly and deeply into how this greatly and highly awaited fight actually unfolded inside that octagon before the combat evening had actually started. Viewpoints among supporters and analysts similarly were authentically divided, generating tremendous anticipation. One side had completely anticipated Paddy's relentless, continuous pressure and his characteristic wild pace to entirely overwhelm Gaethje and dominate the entire fight. Conversely, on the flip side, an equal and equivalent number thought and believed that Justin's famous and renowned calmness combined with his laser precision and devastating, overwhelming power.
You were saying stuff like, well, his entrance is good and it's all well and good to get the fans, but he needs to be able to fight. Obviously, we've seen him have great wins before, but to show you the durability he had in that fight tonight, do you feel like even though he lost, he will be considered one of the best in that division moving forward?
No doubt about it. I mean, he was the favorite tonight. I think that's what fucked him. Every other one, he's the underdog and everybody thinks he's going to lose. Tonight, he's the favorite. I don't think that his game plan was the greatest. Obviously, tonight he showed he is tough, he is durable, and almost impossible. I mean, especially against Gaethje. And you're eating those punches from him. You know, it's one thing to say, listen, I'm going to come out. I believe in, say, you know what? It's the third round. I got 2 rounds left. I might want to try to take him down.
Turned to be the deciding and pivotal factor. What's even more fascinating, that same identical conflicting outlook, that fundamental difference in what was anticipated and expected, actually followed and tracked the battle instant by instant. This profoundly influenced how each spectator and professional evaluated the moments happening live, making every second to feel immensely and deeply individual. You were mentioning and saying stuff like, what his walkout is great. I may want to attempt to bring him down, as just before the opening strike was actually thrown, the highly respected trainer Tim Welch offered this exceptionally sharp breakdown of the encounter. He immediately concentrated on Justin gets his extremely accurate propensity to inflict substantial damage early in fights, particularly highlighting those brutal calf kicks. You understand those ones. They often don't look excessively impressive. Right?
Gaethje, what an unbelievable performance. Paddy the Paddy, oh my God, he impressed the hell out of me. Incredible. He'll learn from that, but I tell you what, he's got what you can't teach. Heart, grit, determination, all that shit. Yeah, you can make tweaks. You can put the chin down, you can lift the hands up. What he showed tonight is that he is legit. The man is real, and that's for damn sure. He's at the hospital right now. He'll be fine. They're just checking him out. Gotta say though, well done.
These aren't your standard flashy head kicks, but trust me, they are gradually systematically designed to erode and ultimately destroy a rival's base. Now think it. Through those attacks, start landing. They don't just produce pain. They entirely disrupt your balance. They mess with your positioning, and they severely limit your movement. And when that critical foundation starts to fail, everything changes. The entire fight. Tempo slows, your reactions become sluggish and stiff, and suddenly those lightning-fast exchanges become much more predictable and readable for a competitor. Like Gaethje in that kind of compromised fight.
Very, very good at grappling, and I felt that he deviated from the game plan, meaning that if I was in his corner, you're going to move. One, he's got to keep his hands up here. I like the traditional look where you can move, you can elbow, you throw your right hand, right, left, high kick, push kick. You're just way more, this is standard. This is like the best option. But I still feel like he deviated from the game plan where I think he felt that he was going to be able to knock out Justin Gaethje, and I just don't think Paddy Pimblett has that torque. Not saying he can't do it, I just don't think he has the torque to knock out a guy like Justin Gaethje, who's been in wars with guys like Dustin Poirier, Max Holloway. Max Holloway's knocked him out. He's knocked out Dustin Poirier. He's been in wars with Eddie Alvarez. He's just been in a lot of wars on the feet. But when you look at some of the things that, Khabib did to Justin Gaethje, he made it look easy. He took him down, past his guard.
Justin's naturally powerful striking power immediately becomes significantly greater danger because his opponents simply cannot move, pivot, or evade as they desperately need to engage you. What an incredible performance party, the body. This is when it becomes very difficult. Welch acknowledged the moments that placed Paddy Pimblett in the complete greatest danger frequently happened when he engages. You see, when Paddy would rush into those flurries with his distinct confidence and aggression, his head protection, unfortunately, sometimes lagged just a beat behind his blistering offense. And let me tell you, confronting a precision striker like Justin Gaethje, even a tiny fraction of a second, can decide if you land a shot or a knocked unconscious. That small lapse in his defensive posture basically left his chin exposed, sitting right there for Gaethje to target. During those wild, chaotic flurries from Tim's coaching perspective, it equaled a frighteningly simple equation.
I don't want to look like a loser right now, but everyone saw I was better than just in that fight, but the UFC wanted him to win. The lad smashed my eye with his finger. I had to play all of the rounds with a broken eye, which is not fair.
You saw him do it to Michael Chandler. He's taken on the highlight, Justin Gaethje. 26 wins, 5 losses, 20 KOs. The dude fucking KOs people. Early on, he'd calf kick the fuck out of people. He'd calf kick people where they couldn't take it anymore. He had many TKOs from calf kicks alone. The guy is just a dense fucking ball of muscle, built for fighting. 37 years old now. He's crumpled people with his left hook. He's crumpled people with his right hand. Paddy Pimblett is going to have to be very careful throwing his flurries on Justin Gaethje. Justin Gaethje will sit down and rip a left hook, or sit down, drop his head, and launch a right hand. That's Justin Gaethje's ways to win. He could KO Pat.
All that was required was a single perfectly timed, absolutely devastating counter-punch from Justin landing, and the entire fight could actually end in an instant. The dangers during those moments were truly as high as they could possibly get. Very, very skilled at grappling. And I believed that he strayed from the game plan me, that if I was in his corner, you're gonna move one. This is the fascinating part. Despite the constant, ever-present threat of a fight-ending punch, controlling nearly every exchange Tim Welch did not for. A second characterized this fight as simply a striker versus grappler bow. And guess what? He's absolutely correct when the rounds advance. Especially in elite MMA, the carefully planned framework usually falls apart. And fights like this virtually always devolve into this beautifully chaotic, unexpected chaos. This includes violent grappling on the mat, brutal clinches against the fence, and these incredibly awkward, draining transitions that can determine the entire...
Justin Gaethje with the title around his waist, he earned it. Justin Gaethje's fought all these fucking monsters his whole goddamn career. Edson Barbosa, Donald Cerrone, Eddie Alvarez, Dustin Poirier, Habib, Michael Chandler, Charles Oliveira, Fiziev twice, Dustin Poirier again, Max Holloway. Like, holy shit. He's fought the elite. So I'd love to see Justin Gaethje get it done. If I had to put, fuck, this is hard. If someone gave me $10,000 to bet with and they said, hey, put it on who you think's going to win. I'm going to say 60-40. 60-40. 40% chance that Justin Gaethje knocks Paddy Pimblett out. Hits him on his chin. When Paddy Pimblett's flirting, hits him right on his fucking... hits him right on the scouser chin. Boom. Gets dropped. 40% chance, I think. 60% chance this fight, Justin's not able to find him. It's a little bit... It's like a spastic, weird style. He's not able to find his chin. Paddy Pimblett, if Paddy Pimblett puts him on his back, it's going to be a long night for Justin.
Pace of the fight. And what's more, those exact chaotic scramble-heavy moments are precisely where Paddy Pimblett has historically done his absolute best work. He possesses this incredible ability for dragging opponents into these highly tiring, grueling sequences that can completely shift the momentum. He could look hurt. He may appear wobbled for a second yet. Then suddenly, by sheer willpower and his relentless fighting, he creates an opportunity to grab control and totally turn the tables. It's truly a spectacle to observe element 2. This whole game plan. Of all this unpredictable, chaotic setting is exactly why Tim Welch ultimately characterized the fight as being decided by the narrowest imaginable margins. We're talking about a scenario where just one perfectly executed clean shot, a punch, a kick could immediately change the entire trajectory of the contest. In split seconds, the risks always stayed that elevated despite such enormous continuous danger.
Will you be served with Pimblett? Maybe. Gaethje, experience, good striker. He's well-rounded everywhere, but he's got to use the assets of a smaller guy. We've seen it, where you got to box, you got to use your legs, you got to set traps. You know, he's got the capability of doing that. Outmaneuver, outflank Pimblett. You know, Pimblett, let me tell you, he has improved a lot over the last 2 years. He really has, bud. He has gotten better. He's gotten more. You can see he's come into his own. Confidence-wise, physically, he's in great shape. They usually all are. But he's improved. His striking has improved. He's a good wrestler, grappler. But he loves to strike. That's what's going to make this fight really interesting and good. They're both going to strike. I mean, for the most part, they're both going to strike.
Welch actually leaned ever so marginally towards Paddy interesting. No, his reasoning came from the belief that through enough possible scenarios, enough different ways, the fight could actually unfold. Paddy would ultimately find his path to victory more frequently than not. What's truly telling about this evaluation, though, is that he admitted none of those routes for Paddy seemed safe or obvious or even remotely predictable. It would forever stay a messy, dangerous undertaking, but one where Paddy's unique skills, in Welch's opinion, gave him a slight edge in the sheer number of paths to a victory. He could KO Paddy, and with every connected strike, every kick landed, The expert opinions were absolutely divided right down the center. It felt like watching two completely different strategic approaches for fighting one side. Firmly believed that Paddy Pimblett's incredibly wild, unorthodox movement, combined with his deeply ingrained natural grappling talents, to just drown Justin Gaethje within this massive wave of chaos. They thought Paddy could force Gaethje into uncomfortable positions for extended, difficult stretches, taking him from his comfort zone. Yet the other side placed their total faith in Justin's legendary discipline, his proven fight-ending power, and his striking composure. Their viewpoint argued that Gaethje would continuously make Paddy pay heavily for every single reckless rush, for every single sloppy, crude exchange. This deep, fundamental division in perspective made the actual fight into something genuinely remarkable, where basically every single encounter felt like it carried the burden of possibly rewriting the entire narrative on the atmosphere inside the venue among the analysts and with the fans changed remarkably quick. Exactly because neither fighter let the other to settle into anything like a comfortable or easy rhythm. A deeper examination at Tim Welch's breakdown. He always examined the matchup through the unique lens of cumulative damage and precise timing, constantly pointing back to Justin Gaethje's relentless calf kicks in his Devon, given the critical early turning points. His main concept was seemingly simple, yet deeply terrible in its implications. Early leg damage, which Gaethje excels at causing, drastically changes the whole character of fighting. Why? Because it doesn't just hurt, it seriously compromises your entire stance. It greatly restricts your lateral movement, and perhaps most importantly, it subtly yet significantly alters how you react defensively the instant you feel an attack coming. Welch also heavily stressed that even though Paddy Pimblett's aggressive rushes characterize his style, they can paradoxically create highly dangerous openings for his opponent. A calculated, powerful striker like Justin, having his incredible timing, really only needs a single clear opening to flip the entire fight immediately. However, and this shows the real fascination, Welch openly admitted that as those rounds continued, the more the fight would naturally, almost definitely move towards those messy exchanges and totally unexpected chaos. And that, my friends, is exactly where Paddy's natural confidence, his solid grappling knowledge, and his unwavering determination to be threatening even from his back could to prevail, as Welch ultimately stated it. This was not a reckless bet without any reasoning or logic. A carefully evaluated wager, a high-stakes battle of minds where either fighter could actually be proven right, dependent entirely on specific critical battle moments, appearing at the most unfortunate instant for their opponent. I mean, for the most part, they're both gonna strike a renowned boxing trainer and analyst, Teddy Atlas. This entire fight through the perspective of a seasoned strategist, and his assessments were completely compelling. He strongly emphasized the absolute importance for Justin Gaethje to prioritize smart footwork, clever positioning, and measured discipline. Rather of just planting his feet and recklessly trading punches up close, as if it were a street brawl or a pride contest. Atlas repeatedly highlighted the idea that Gaethje's vast experience really matters, but only if he uses it most wisely and critically prevents getting pulled into a wild crowd-pleasing slugfest, just because the fans are screaming for it. That would constitute a strategic error. However, simultaneously, Atlas gave Paddy Pimblett substantial deserved credit for exactly how much he has evolved. Both physically and mentally, he described Paddy as clearly more powerful, significantly more calm under pressure, and much more comfortable managing those lengthy, unwell. Atlas finally leaned to such youthful energy and raw power, hold a unique ability to appear incredibly late in a fight, especially once fatigue inevitably sets in and the quality of key decisions starts to decline. From Atlas's astute viewpoint, Paddy had significantly more ability to adapt and refine his strategy incrementally through rounds without ever sacrificing his true nature as a fighter or yielding to the massive pressure, and this profound ability to truly evolve, to smoothly absorb damage both physically and strategically, is able of making a genuinely massive difference. and about extended well into the championship, Round Holloway, always a candid and insightful commentator, famously distilled the entire intricate fight to one sole, completely ruthless and practical question: would Paddy Pimblett actually be able to survive Justin Gaethje's famous fight, finishing power, without completely wilting? This is an alarmingly simple question. Yet it cuts straight to the heart of what makes Gaethje such a dangerous opponent. Holloway's expert opinion was as follows: should Paddy display the sheer durability and mental fortitude to weather that relentless barrage of punches, then he definitely had the natural raw ability to convert those extremely scary, disadvantageous circumstances into dominant grappling control and sudden, powerful momentum swings. And I must stress, in a fight of this caliber, those kinds of reversals can totally change the whole dynamic. In the shortest instant, Holloway also made it crystal clear that Justin Gaethje, unlike many other fighters, never really needs to land a huge volume of strikes to flip a match's direction. Why? Because each individual well-timed punch and each individual well-timed kick he lands has genuinely catastrophic fight-altering consequences. It only takes just one perfectly executed punishing strike from Gaethje to instantly erase an entire round of hard work and effort, perhaps, before Paddy can even find a solid rhythm whatsoever. That's in Gaethje punched like a truck. Finally, the incredibly tenacious Murad Dvalishvili, known for his relentless pace, truly saw this whole fight as a genuine toss-up, a total 50-50 scenario. He quite explicitly outlined two extremely brutal, completely unforgiving paths for the fight, emphasizing that there was essentially no comfortable middle ground whatsoever. The result would be one of two options: either Justin Gaethje would systematically break down Paddy Pimblett through his relentless, steady, and constant damage, continuously wearing him until Paddy just could no longer function properly, or conversely, Paddy would somehow survive that early onslaught, weather the storm adequately to effectively pull the fight into those messy, stamina-sapping grappling exchanges, where momentum would then slowly, yet definitely, transition from Justin almost unnoticed at first, without watchers actually noticing the real-time shift. For Murad, the ultimate factor wasn't just skill alone, as both of these elite fighters clearly had the capability to win. Instead, to him, it came down completely to a fighter's sheer pain tolerance and their ability to make smart, crucial decisions amid deep, extreme pressure. His key observation was as follows: across possibly 5 grueling rounds, exhaustion and stress inevitably build. It is the remarkable mental and physical toughness to keep surviving that constant suffering while still being able to choose the smart, correct moment to strike is definitely the one who ultimately comes to feels and is acknowledged when it really matters.